Yes.
Mr. Joel. I was gonna say your last name, but I don't think everybody out there knows your last name, so we'll leave that. We'll leave that.
They'll probably, if they Google it enough and link to like our businesses and stuff,
They can find
tax
it.
information, HMRC, everything will come up.
Let's start.
So,
Mr. Richardford. Mr. Richardford. How you
Mr.
doing?
Brown.
How you doing? You all right?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm alive and well. How are
Excellent.
you? How are you?
I'm okay. I'm super busy, as I'm sure you are as well.
Yeah,
Loads going on in the business. Some really exciting stuff, some challenging stuff, but it's all good. It's all good. We're on the journey, as they say. We're on the pathway, so it's all good.
that's it. Everything's a learning curve, man. And
Yeah.
yeah, so regarding this specific pod for our audience, we're going to implement a new thing where Leon is going to give you guys top tips, top trading tips at the end, which is big. A lot of this information is behind a paywall, but because it's you guys, we decided to pass on some knowledge so you guys have an understanding of the market and also, see the provision.
Should we tell him?
And
We tell him what the top tip is going to be on today, like so they stay.
yeah, cool. Yeah,
So I'm sure there are many traders out there and many people interested in gold right now. Gold is at a really interesting place in the markets, in its
yeah,
market structure. We could be seeing something interesting in the coming weeks. So stay tuned to the end to see my top tip on gold.
yeah. And I'm looking forward to it because I'm going to trade on what he says. So yeah. But also as well, we all, we started this podcast to demonstrate the journeys of 0 to 100,000. Now that could be I'm basically focused on 100,000 in revenue, not 100,000 in profit, 100,000 in revenue. And within the revenue aspects of it, you make your percentage and your profit based on that. So the hardest part of business or the early stages of business is actually going from 0 to 100,000. So we, as a collective, when myself and Leon, when we started this journey, this podcast journey, we wanted to focus on this specific area because this is where a lot of people are statistically are staged. They're actually at this stage. I think it works about between 60 to 70% of the registered businesses in the UK are one specific owner or one owner, one person doing it, and they're trying to get from that 0 to maybe 50,000 and 0 to 100,000. So I think for me, there's a lot of stuff on the internet based on, how I made my millions, 2 million, 10 million revenue, whatever, which is not, it's really not relevant to a lot of people who's starting off in their journey. And that's not the reality of business anyway. You're talking about a selective of people reaching that threshold. One or two may be lucky, but the people who do reach those milestones where it's like millions and millions, they've been trading for a long period of time and compounding their information. So we wanted to kind of focus these pods and on the 0 to 100,000,
Yeah.
purely based on the fact that we know how difficult it is at this early stage, and we just wanted to kind of give you guys some hopefully nuggets and help you with your journey to that.
So I don't know whether you want me to answer the question. In fact, I'll pose the question to you first. And I think, Joel, what we have to think about here is that the rules are going to be different for every type of business. So I've got an online coaching business. Would you describe yours as a service business potentially? I think you describe yours as
Yeah,
a service
service
business.
business. Yeah.
So the rules and the steps to 100K are going to be different depending on what the business is. But let's look at yours first. I don't mind answering afterwards. What would you? You're starting again from scratch, and again, this is assuming a strong belief that you're not just trying something out that you hope will work. This is not a hobby that you're hoping to turn into a business.
Yeah.
This is something that you know can work. You've seen it, tried it, tested in maybe in a business, somebody else's business. Maybe you
Yeah.
exited and going to do the same thing yourself. So we're not talking about belief. We're not talking about trying something. We're talking about a system that we know is going to work. What would you do for your service business again if you're going to literally start again right from the beginning? Maybe first 3 to 5 things that you would do, Joel.
Okay, so I think which sometimes it gets played down a lot, but you have to become something of value. So whatever you're looking to do regarding your, let's say, your business or career path, I'm using career path because you'll find a lot of people who have a career in a specific field. then use that skill to start their own business.
Yes.
And that's quite high. There's another statistic based on age. You'll find a lot of people who are 45 and over starting new ventures. And the reason why you see that is because whoever specific, for example, if someone's worked let's say they've been an electrician for 20 years,
Yes.
working on another company, they've built up a strong enough knowledge base and skill to feel confident enough to say, okay, I'm a specialist electrician, or I'm a qualified electrician with 20 years experience, and I think I could do this on my own.
Exactly.
And you'll find that a lot with it. To be fair, I think your journey was a bit like that as well.
Very similar.
And they feel confident enough because of the information they've required. And I think that's very, very key when you want to start something or start a business. There's two ways of making money. I remember mentioning this before. Find something cheap and sell it for more, or you become that value. You become that business. So I think I wouldn't have changed anything because I needed to specialize in something. So I specialized in IT.
Okay, brilliant.
So the whole purpose of it, I became something of value.
Right.
So I was able to sell my services to external people, to external customers.
So
Okay.
I'm writing this down as, again, I find it interesting just as a business person, as an entrepreneur, what these things are that you're going to say. So for me, I'm writing these down as if you were to start again. Sort of your first thing is become
something of value. So
become
pick a skill, be an expert in it.
Okay.
Yeah. Whatever you want to, just say, for example, you become a lawyer, okay? And then you become a qualified solicitor, done it for 10 years, but you want to start your own firm.
Yes.
You're then crossing over to business.
Perfect.
But then you have the skill to deliver a service to generate money.
Very good.
That's the key.
Very good.
All right. So first and foremost, I would literally focus on finding some skill, something that if it's something you're passionate and doing, great, that's fine. I mean, I think we spoke about passion already. It's more, for me, it's more to do with value than passion. You don't necessarily have to have a passion for something to make money.
Correct.
And not all your passions generally make money.
Can make money
as well.
That's right. Speak to the cake maker who loves making cakes, but for whatever reason, I mean, you've got to make it on a really big scale before it makes a business that you can build your life around, right? So
100%.
Just the passion for making cakes on its own doesn't necessarily mean that cake baking business is a profitable one or a good one for you.
100%. And the beautiful thing about online businesses or online services is that it's opened the door for more businesses out there. So let's say when the internet was around, it was really service-based businesses. That's you physically going out to resolve something, fix something, or partner up in something.
Yes.
Since the internet's changed that game because your reach is further. So therefore you're able to communicate with more people. That's why we see trillionaires now. It's not because of the fact that we have trillionaires as we have more money or more growth of money. It's just we are able to communicate more easily now and export and import now.
Would you be saying that would be one of your kind of, if you're going to create a list of, let's say, 3 to 5, would that be one of the list, use the internet or find an internet-based business, or would it be go global? I mean, what would you give me the specific point? So so that even if we were to create a little presentation at the end of it, we put something in Joel's top 5. What specifically are they going to be?
Wow.
We'll have Joel's top 5. We'll have Leon's top 5 things. We can put it as a presentation somewhere at the end of this. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe we can. Maybe we can't. But let's be really clear about number 1. You've got become, or I've had it here, become or deliver something of value. I think this is just huge. Yeah. Number 2, you're talking about the internet. Are you saying go global, or are you saying find an internet-based skill?
Right. So regarding online businesses, I think they're great, but I think there's a lot of saturated market when it comes to online businesses. You have to really be innovative online now.
Yes.
I think when the .com boom, when that happened, when the internet service really it was 2008 or whenever it was. I can't remember.
Hmm.
Early 2000. Um, yes, there was a massive market. You could have done a lot of things. I generally think at the moment it's really saturated.
Yeah,
If
there's a lot.
you
Yeah.
Google, if you have an idea and you Google it, I wouldn't be surprised someone's already doing it. I'm not discouraging people to obviously confirm, but I think you just have to be really creative about it.
Very interesting. So what's the point? It's creative. What's the creativity online? What's the key here if we're going to make the list? Can we make a list or is it more of a convo? What do you think?
You can make it. I mean, you can make a list because if you want to, I think it's difficult for me to kind of. You can go for robust businesses. Yeah, it depends on how you want to approach a business in general. Now, the reason why I say pick a skill, master that skill, is because you're selling your services, and that's more or less return of investment. You're more or less making a profit straight away because you're selling what's in here.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
If you're going to then sell a product, then you're obviously thinking about material, overheads, etc. Now, there are boring businesses out there what generates a lot of money.
Yeah,
You know,
correct.
if you are in the mindset of, okay, cool, I'm going to, sign up to a few boring businesses, then therefore say, okay, cool, start being my entrepreneur journey.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Then even with the boring businesses, you still need to know what you're doing. You still need to be an expert or some sort of skill to understand how to do these boring businesses or hire the right people to deliver the service
I
for you.
think I think that right there, which you just said, is what we need to pull apart for somebody that's going to look at starting a business on the road from 0 to 100K. It's like, okay, there's service business, there's a hospitality business, there's an online coaching business, but whatever the business is, what do we need to do? And your first point there, I think, was absolutely brilliant, which is you need to become or deliver something of value. I think your second point was lean or use the internet for creativity. Use the internet
Yeah,
for, even though it can be a bit saturated. I think I agree with that as well, Joel. I really do.
yeah, I think use the internet for creativity. I think that's because it is a saturated market depending on online, depending on e-commerce or whatever, depending on what the service you're trying to do, because really and truly you're either going to sell yourself or sell something like software related online.
Or would it
There's
be, or would that be rather than use the internet for creativity? Would it be think global? Would that be a better
Yeah,
one?
you can think global with the internet because of the reach. So the scale and how quickly you can scale. This is why you see a lot of startup companies tend to be online because of the scalability, how quick they could go from generating revenue, especially when you put spend money on marketing,
Yeah,
ads, etc., etc.
yeah,
So then, therefore, and obviously reaching out to more people via social media.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, I mean, first things first, become something of value.
yeah. I love that.
100%
I
do
love.
that.
I put think big next because that's really what you're saying. Think big. Go
Yeah,
beyond the small things. You're like think big.
yeah, I think not necessarily. All right, not necessarily think big. I think if, so for example, like for me, there's there was I wouldn't necessarily think I would do anything different in my approach because my journey was know something of value,
Yes.
um, which I did. Then I was able to provide the service to customers. The more customers I got, the more opportunity I had to scale the business and to make it better. I learned along the way with trials and tribulations regarding the delivery of my service because
Yes.
you learn basically on the mistakes and even the successes of your decision makings of how you interact with your customers and how you grow your business and what's the next step. So become something of value, yes. Also, make sure you're not in debt. I think that's
Yeah.
a big burden.
Very, very, very interesting, mate. Avoid debt.
Avoid debt at the early stages of your business. I
Very,
know you might have heard some people say they've taken a gamble, they took out 10 grand and they to start their business. I would not advise that.
very interesting.
If you have savings, great. but I wouldn't advise taking loan. I mean, if you're going to take a loan from a bank, I wouldn't advise that. If you're taking a loan from a family member, maybe your mum or something, that's different, I suppose.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
It's different. But I wouldn't advise putting yourself in debt at the early stages of your journey when it comes to business. Sometimes because you don't know where you fit in the market, your pricing as well. And those two things are key. And what I mean how you fit in the market is more based on, are you competitive? And when you're starting, you kind of have to be undercutting yourself to generate customers in the first place. Why would they come to you when they could go to someone more established? So you need to create some more incentives. So you will be instead of you charging your, let's say, a normal rate of 250, you will be charging 150.
Yeah, 100%. You've got to get the first deal under your belt. You have to
get the first deal.
Yes.
110%.
Yes.
So that will be my second advice. 100%, don't get yourself in debt.
Very good.
At the early stages of your.
There's three really good ones. I've got become or deliver something of value. I've got think big, but you're really talking about being creative with the internet and thinking that the world is really huge, it's global. And then the third one, which I think is really good, is to avoid debt. And you said it very clearly at the early stages of your business. I think that's brilliant, Joe. I think that's really, really good.
Yeah. I think.
Have you got more before I give you my few?
And
keep going, man.
No. I'm trying to. Don't be afraid of putting in the hours and being the jack of all trades, because that is the normal journey of someone in business. Okay, one of
my points is going to be. One of my points is going to go boom. It's going to go head on against this one, and I know we've had these conversations privately. We've had. I think it's so funny. It's so funny recording this conversation now, Joel, because we've had these conversations privately. I think the interesting thing about us talking this and exploring it and pulling it all apart is that we think slightly differently. Although we think this, that we've both got entrepreneurial minds. On this point, I'm gonna give you my side of it when we come around to me. But your point here is jack of all trades, yeah?
Yeah. So you're going to be jack of all trades. So it's not necessarily advice on me saying to you, we're going to be jack of all trades. My advice to you is that embrace it.
Okay,
embrace it. Yeah. So embrace being a jack of all trades, because you have to be. You have to be. Okay.
That sigh that you just saw me do right there. That sigh was a sigh of acknowledgement that what you're saying is so true at the beginning of a business. It's also a sigh of relief.
But I'm being true to the journey. Like, embrace it. You will learn a lot, and you will need to learn a lot. You will need to understand every aspect of your business and your journey, because when you go to the next stage, your business will progress. You'll understand the fundamentals of how your business runs, and then therefore pass that information on to someone who could do it better than you. So and that's the key. I think I want. This is how it feels like. It's really the key of the message. That yes, it's hard. That's fine. If you want something in life, things are always going to be hard. That's how it works. No one's going to give it to you. So if you want to achieve anything, you have to work for it. And it's a true saying. No one's giving it to you. Why would they give it to you?
So really
and yes, the late nights, the long hours, and etc. That's how it feels like. But that's the journey that you're going on. It's exactly how you feel like, and that for me is my message to people who are going along this journey, is that embrace the experience, embrace the roles that you're doing, and therefore it will help you in the long run continue moving forward and expanding as well.
Very, very good. I
love
that.
We'll go with those four. I'm not going to be one to say, oh, these are the top 5 businesses you should try. There's enough people
Yeah,
online saying
yeah,
this kind of
yeah.
nonsense. I don't really agree with those kind of concepts. My advice is more to do with the mental preparation of the journey that you're going to have.
Very good,
Um,
Joel. Really
so
good stuff. And like I said to you, I've written these down. So I'm hoping that anybody that's watching is taking notes. You know, I know it is a cliche, but they say that note takers are money makers. And
yeah, yeah,
my
yeah,
my
yeah,
my my pen is always in my hand. I'm just to sit with somebody like yourself who's got what I would consider to be a successful business, and to see at least 4 points of what you would do if you would start again. I think it's valuable. It's valuable for people listening. And even for people that are on the way, some of these things are applicable to people who have started their first business, done their first 5K, or they've done their first
yeah,
10K month. Some of these
yeah,
things are still applicable as well. So valuable information, bro. Do you want to know what mine are?
yeah. Can't wait because I think with your journey, which is still a great journey at the moment, and it's interesting because it's still fresh.
Fresh,
So,
fresh.
so you will at this point, because for me, I have to kind of think a bit, like think, because it's been a little while.
Yeah.
But with you, it's still fresh. It would be really
Fresh,
interesting to see
Joel. Like fresh, clean. I'm
on your
literally just,
yeah. So,
you
what would
know,
you do differently this, if you've had it started again?
so just by virtue of the fact that your business is more mature than my business, I know that one of the things I would go into any business with is thinking about the potential for scale. Number one
Okay.
for me
Yeah.
is to consider the potential for scale, which is how big can this grow? I think this is massively important. It also depends on the type of business that the individual wants to have. There's a
Hmm.
lifestyle business, which is
Yeah.
I just want to do this business to make sure that my bills are covered. I can pay for my holidays in a sole trader account. I can sell to my local neighborhood. This is
Yeah.
absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with that. This is I would call this a lifestyle business.
Hmm.
But what I'm thinking about is the businesses that want to go past 100K. I'm thinking about the business that want to be doing 30, 40, 50K a month and above. All right.
Okay. Yeah.
So one of the things that I would say is think about scale, which is how big can this business grow? How quickly? How far can it reach? And what do we need to put in place to achieve that? So my
Okay.
my number one, and I'm saying this through hard lessons, Joel, because I had a previous business which was a clothing company. I don't know if I told you.
Yeah.
We
You
made,
touched on it a bit, but yeah.
oh man, I tell you, we made the best. I promise you, they were the best shirts. I promise you, they were the best suits, the best tuxedos. They were the best, right? The problem was I built that whole business upon one set of shoulders, and it was an inverted pyramid with the point on my shoulders, right?
Okay. Oh
So
yeah. Okay.
after a while, it's just like, and the whole thing just collapsed. The reason why is I didn't build any scale into that business. I became the focal point of the business, and
Okay.
I needed to do every single thing. So this is where, all right. So I'll come back to this example when we come to your jack of all trades, right?
Okay.
So no, so number one would be how big can this business grow? How far can it reach? And what do we need to put in place to make that happen? And having been
All right.
through the,
So, sorry to cut you off. So, you're basically saying if you start again, your mindset approach will be different. So, your mindset will be, okay, cool. The business that I'm going to do now needs to be scalable. So,
number
if it,
one,
okay.
number one
All
for
right.
me,
Okay.
number one thing for me, and here's the
Mm.
reason why, right? Because I think a successful business is a business that operates without its owner.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. Yeah. That's yeah. 100%. No, you you only have a business when it operates by itself without its owner.
Correct.
Yeah.
You've
What
only
I
got,
have, what myself and you have currently,
yep,
we're still self-employed because we're employed in the business. Yeah.
correct.
So
Absolutely right.
even though I have employees, it doesn't matter because I'm still working within the business.
Correct,
Okay.
Joel. So we 100%
So
agree
I'm
on that.
self-employed. That's it. So I'm still employed. I'm self-employed. That's how I've always looked at myself. So if you only have a business when you can leave for 6 months and it runs and you come back, it's still churning you money.
And it's still
That's when you have a
churning.
business. Yeah.
A real business, okay?
Yeah.
But still, the person that does make cakes and sells it to their local neighborhood for the kids' party, it's a business, but it's not a business that runs without the owner, and it's a business that still relies upon the time from the owner. So ultimately, what we're trying to do, and I guess what we're trying to encourage individuals to do that watch this podcast, is to put themselves in a position where over time, you are not dependent upon your own efforts for the business to work over time. Now, that's not going to happen at the beginning, because I think one of the things you said on your points was to really work hard. You're going to, and that's normal. You're going to have to do that at the start of the business. But I would go into the business thinking to myself, how big can this grow? How do I scale it? And what do I need to put in place in the foundational years to make sure that this business can grow and eventually operate without me having to exchange all of my time to make it work? Number one is what I would be. So scale would be number one thing that I think about. Number two, the second thing that I would think about is going to be systemize.
Okay. Yeah. Systemize the processes. Yeah.
Systemize all the processes. So what can I do? That means every time this happens, right? Or for every one of these instances, I get 3 of these instances as an example, right? So I would look at the business, how big can it grow, and what does it need to grow that to that size?
All right, but let me push back you on that. How would you know what systems or processes you need in place if you're just starting off?
All right, brilliant. So let's use my business, online coaching business. And sometimes you only realize it when you get there. You realize it because of necessity. A lot of the time, you'll realize it because of necessity. So we started taking payments, first of all, we managed to get a bank account. Let's say before, personal bank accounts aside, sole trader bank accounts aside, we managed to get a bank account. But then we started to realize, look, every month, I've got to call my customers to say, have you made your payment? Or I've got to send an email to say to them, have you made a payment? We need a system that takes payment from customers. So we searched, and there are multiples of them out there. We ended up using Stripe, which is a payment system which takes which takes a subscription or a payment from the client at an agreed date. So another example, spreadsheet to keep all of your clients' name, address, birthday, whatever it means you want to keep about your client. I had a big long spreadsheet, and it's like every time I needed to, I'm going to have to search through my spreadsheet. Okay, no, this is not good enough. I need some type of software, a database that holds my client information. You need to get a CRM set up.
Yeah.
So the systemizing comes through necessity. When my clients wanted to book time with me, they were all calling me on the phone, sending me messages, and I'm missing meetings. I'm like, what's going on? I need a system whereby I can send them a link, book your time. This is the available slots. So over time, you're gonna realize that you need to organize in terms of systems, and I put systemize and automate as much as possible to get to zero to 100K.
So basically, if you start again, you'll have these tools ready for whatever business venture you're looking to do.
Now, with the knowledge I have now.
Yeah. No.
Right?
Okay. Cool.
And I think this is a huge part of what we're trying to do with this podcast, is to say, listen, everybody, if this is what you're doing, go get yourself a payment provider, go get yourself a CRM, go get yourself a Calendly or some type of scheduler which allows clients to book into your calendar. Go get a proper telephone number. Do you have an email software that can send out to your clients? These are the type of things that you need to think about in terms of systemizing the process. Notice that neither you nor me yet have said, go get a logo. Go do branding.
No branding, no website. It's all a waste of time.
None of we haven't. It's all a waste. It's all a complete waste of time. Now we know that people need to find you, but what we're really saying is, look, how do you get to these? I mean, let's call it serious levels, or how 100K business I'd say it's a serious going concern, right? So my first two are going to be, think scale and size, possibility, systemize, and then again, very, very early on, I would say another S, believe it or not. So we've got scale, systemize, and then I would say focus on sales, focus on getting money through the door, focus on sales. And believe it or not, if possible, I would say be willing to give away a percentage of each sale to a dedicated salesperson.
Okay. Yeah.
I'd say set that up early. Be willing to give away a percentage of each sale to to a dedicated salesperson. It has revolutionized our business to work on a commission-only sales basis with
Yeah,
somebody
but
who
which is
really.
cool. But remember, this is the early stages. You're starting. You remember
Have we gone too early? Have we gone too far?
that. Yeah, we think of it the early stages. You're going to be doing a lot of it yourself. Even with the cloud-based systems that you were talking about, the CRM business and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
They again, when I mentioned to you about debt or money or how much money you're spending on the business, um, factor in that consideration, factor that into your budget. There'll be subscriptions
true.
to pay.
Very
You
true.
know,
Very true. And yeah, sorry. One of the thing is stay lean, right? One of the things that is to stay lean, stay
yeah,
absolutely lean, stay lean,
yeah,
stay lean. And I think that's
yeah,
really, really important through. I think that's really important through business, as you said, stay lean. But
yeah,
also,
yeah,
you have to
yeah.
take back some of your time. You have to take back some of your time, I think, as well. So I've got one
What
more,
do you so what do you mean by take back of your time? As in,
as in, for example, I have found a lot of benefit giving away a portion of each sale to somebody who can do an hour sales call for every lead that comes through.
okay, yeah, yeah, yeah,
I get back my time to do something else or to work on something else. All right, I get back my time in that sense. I've got one more, and then we'll come to your jack of all trades, which I really see, and we can have a little argument about it, and
yeah.
we can actually what we do. We see, put a little poll up, put a little poll up at the end. Jack of
Yeah,
all trades, or
yeah,
hand off to somebody that knows. Right, that's going to be the thing, right?
yeah.
So
Sure.
my fourth one would be social media. Right,
Sure.
happens to be
Yeah,
another S. Right, my fourth one would be social media. You've got to go crazy on social media and really get over the idea of, oh my goodness, people are watching me. You've got to get over that complex of being in the public eye and being in the public gaze because nobody cares, right?
yeah, yeah,
Nobody cares. Only
yeah.
Jesus and your wife is what I say, right? Jesus and your wife or husband, the only two
Yeah,
people that care about you. Yeah.
yeah,
No one cares. And I mean, I've experienced this a lot, Joel, because I was the one who's like, nah, I don't know. What are they going to think? What are people going to say? How are people going to respond to me? God, am I going to get any bad comments? Listen, they either care enough to leave you a bad comment, in which case they really don't care about you, or they care enough to inquire about your business. That's the only
yeah.
two levels of care. Everybody else falls in the middle and they keep on scrolling to the next reel or to the next ad.
Yeah,
So
you're right. Yeah.
those will be my four, which is scale, systemize the process,
Hmm.
focus on sales, whether that's you doing the sales or whether that's getting giving away a share to somebody, and then social media. That'll be those will be my immediate four. And,
And funny
and
enough, on those things, I would agree with you probably more on two out of the four.
is it really
I'd
which two?
agree. Yeah, I agree. Well, I think where you mentioned about the sales and obviously someone else come doing the selling for you. Um, at the early stages, I think you're
It's
again.
hard.
I just think it's hard, and I think you don't
Yo,
really know what you're looking for until you actually do it yourself.
correct. I think
Um,
on that one.
so and like I said, with the depending on the global concept or scalability as well. I sometimes think that's a bit too far ahead. I think the reason why I think that is because if you put unrealistic targets, then you start to put pressure on yourself of why you're not meeting these targets.
Interesting, interesting.
So it's a mental game where because you're going to have periods where you have to kind of encourage yourself, be motivated yourself, or not even motivate, discipline yourself to consistently be doing the same thing and not seeing results for a long period of time.
Yes,
That's a
yes, yes,
true thing. And I
yes.
think if you have a mindset of like, I want to be here by this, or I think we could reach this with every diversity or every not diversity, for every challenges you would have,
Yes.
and it sometimes that dream you would have in your head seems further and further away, and then therefore it might discourage you into pursuing or continuing your role. So
Interesting.
I do think where I'm not against you of having dreams and aspirations of how it wants to be. With me, the way I process my mindset is that, okay, can I speak to one person?
Yeah, this is good. All right.
You know,
All right.
and with that one person, can I get a sale? Can I get to two people this time? Can I get to five? You know, I focus more on those kind of numbers. Um, and then
Well,
you'll find that.
where do you stop then, Joel? Because we're saying something quite similar in a way, but we're coming from different ends of the spectrum.
Yeah, it's
So
different ends of the spectrum. I remember it's because I know it's funny because we obviously speak off camera. I know where your mindset is,
yeah,
and
yeah,
don't get me wrong. It's not a case where I want to put a dampen on it. I think it's great. Don't get me wrong. And I think because you're online space as well, because mine's not necessarily an online space.
that's it. Does
So
business type.
your online space is the possibility of getting to where it can do is obviously more quicker than what I can do based on because mine's a face-to-face service based.
Cool. Yes.
If I
Yes.
wanted to if I wanted to open up more locations, it'll be in different boroughs, different areas within the UK. Can
Yes.
I
Yes.
expand my MSP into another country? Yes, I can, but it's a lot more harder. I'll have to
Yeah.
open up
Correct.
a bank account. I have to hire
Yeah.
people to be based there. I'll have to
Yeah.
find myself based there.
That's right.
But what I want people to kind of focus on is the scale, not so much the scalability, is basically when you're starting off, it's getting that one customer. I just
Yeah.
funny enough,
And
I had a,
at this one point on this, I really agree with that point. And I always used to say, if you can do it once, you can do it twice. All right. And if you can do it twice, you can do it 5 times. And I said to myself, if I can do it 5 times, it means I can do it 20 times. And that means if I can do it 20 times, I've got a business. So
yeah,
it's so funny you say it like that, focus on getting that one customer, because when I started this business, I was like, okay, wow, that's one customer. The moment I knew, Joel, the moment I knew, I was like, rah, I've got something here. Do you know the moment
yeah,
I knew? The moment I knew is
well,
when I got my second customer. I was
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah,
at the point where I got my second customer, Joe, it's mad. At the point where I got the second customer, I'm like, there's nothing that can stop this. Because if I can do it twice, I can do it 5 times. If I can do it
yeah,
5 times, I can do it 20 times. And if it's 20 times, I can do it
yeah,
as much as I want. So I
100%.
really,
Yeah,
I really do agree with you on that. But at that second customer, because I'm in the online space, I was like, I went into daydream land. I was like, rah,
yeah,
how how big can this be?
yeah,
How big is
definitely.
it? Do you understand
And
what I'm
that's
saying?
that, and that's what the online space provides you. Because obviously um my vision is completely different. So I think more locally, if that makes sense.
Mm,
What can I do locally? But then I do also think online as well, which I can incorporate because you can incorporate different services as well
correct.
within your business.
And you
So
can make a
even
lot. You can make a
oh, sorry.
lot of money locally. You can make
Yeah, yeah,
a
100%,
lot of money locally.
100%. I get there is over 150 billionaires in the UK. Yeah, there's 150. I didn't say millionaires. I said billionaires. There's a
I've
whole
heard,
150 billionaires in the
heard.
UK. Okay, so the fact that you think there's no money around, there's enough money. If even if you wanted to focus on, let's say for example, I was speaking to one of my colleagues. He wants to get into the celebration, not celebration, like the card space, like do celebrations like or funerals or stuff like
Okay.
that. Sorry,
Yep.
not funerals. When you're buying cards or balloons, or what's it called them celebrations? Not celebration.
Yeah.
The
Okay. I kind of get what you mean.
no, is it Pacific Space? I can't remember the terminology, but it's that industry is like a 300 billion industry. Yeah. So if you're buying cards,
Gifts,
I say wrap
trinkets.
gifts, yeah, trinkets, wrapping paper, I don't know, whatever. Yeah. Gift
Yeah.
space, the gifts kind of scene.
Okay. Okay. Yes.
That's a 300 billion industry within the UK, just the UK alone. Yeah. All
Yes.
you want, let's say you want zero point 0.1 of that business.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
Just zero point 0.1, you'll be laughing.
Amazing.
There's so
Amazing.
it's not you don't necessarily have it doesn't have to necessarily have to be a global thing to generate money and make money or have a good living.
Yes.
What online opportunities give you is scalability. So you don't so for example, even if you have I secretly watch the specific guy on YouTube. He goes around, he starts his day. He's already got a business anyway, but he starts his day. He bakes he just bakes. That's all he does. He bakes. He films himself baking. Okay. So prior before he filmed himself baking, he had this baking business anyway. So he was making money doing baking. He basically goes around, pop up stuff, and he does beautiful bakes, different variations of bakes, cakes, whatever, buns, whatever. And he sells them. He goes to different locations and sells them. And then all of a sudden, he said to himself, I'm just going to record myself doing that. Yeah. He
Yeah.
has 1.6 million people watching him do the same thing week in, week out. Week in, week out. So something he's done locally,
Yes.
the internet has enabled him to scale globally.
Globally on, yes. Well said.
Yeah.
Well said.
So
Well,
this is what I want to try to explain when it comes to doing things locally. Is that is you're not limiting yourself. You're just seeing what works.
no, listen, and you know what as well,
Yeah.
if I can just relate this back to trading, in our trading space, we've got hundreds, thousands of different assets that we could potentially trade. There's Bitcoin, there's gold, there's currencies, there's equities, there's indices, there's loads of different things we can trade. But actually, you don't need to trade all of them in order to be profitable. You can niche down into one thing. And I think niching is something that we could also talk about. We had this conversation privately as well.
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
niche down, or do you go into a range of different things? And I think niching is definitely possible if you're, whether that's inside a local area or with a certain product that goes wide.
Yeah. You
There's
can
definitely value in
100%
that.
niche, but with niching, niching's good and not good at the same time. So
Before we move on to the niching conversation,
go. Yeah.
let's just come back, because we're going to go away. Let's come back to the jack of all trades conversation, which is our
Okay. Go. Yeah.
little thing that we go back and forth on. So my thing is this, as you know, but our viewers won't necessarily know. Whilst as a business person and entrepreneur, at the beginning you've got to do everything as much as you can. You got to juggle the accounts and the marketing and the sales and the delivery and and the customer acquisition, the customer satisfaction. You've got to juggle all of these things.
Yeah.
While that is true at the beginning, I as a entrepreneur can't wait to get those off my plate as soon as possible. I can't
Okay.
wait to have somebody,
Yeah.
okay, you're responsible for marketing. Just do that. I know a little bit about it. I don't know as much as you do, but you're responsible for marketing. Okay, cool. You're responsible for sales. Just you're way better than me. It's your expertise, and not only are you better than me, and it's your expertise, but you love it. You do
Yeah.
that. Okay.
Okay. All right.
So for me, I'm really energized by giving away responsibility to people who are good at it and who enjoy it more than I would enjoy a particular thing, which leaves me free to do the things I need to do, and works very early. I'm way too early for this, but works towards moving me out of the actual delivery of the business. Does that make sense? I think
Yeah.
if
It
I'm
makes sense.
understanding your point correct, I think you're saying do it for longer, or know like what you said to me, which I was really impressed with. If any of your staff step out, you know exactly how to do their job, and you can just handle it. I think this is brilliant. I think that's brilliant. I think
That's
that's brilliant.
There you go, and that's the key, because especially in the early stages of your business. Okay. Now, where you're um, at the moment, and also I think, and again, we have this conversation because of where you would like to see yourself in a short space of time. I actually think I think in your head you want to be there quickly. And that's the impression I get. And I think for me, my advice to you, when we spoke about it, is that I wouldn't put pressure on yourself too much of trying to get there quickly, because you don't want that to.
Said.
I don't want you to necessarily hit a hurdle at that journey. So some of the best CEOs are still very much involved in businesses. Yeah, even the biggest company, they will still come down to marketing level. They'll still
Very,
come down
very
to
good.
engineering levels. They'll still come down to, because to grow it the way you want to grow it, you have to know the nits and the grits. You have to know what the people are doing. So I don't want you to be. I don't want your mindset to be, okay, cool. Once Jeff is dealing with marketing, I don't have to deal with it anymore. I touch
No,
base with him every now and again with it.
no, 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 no,
Yeah.
no.
And
That's
what?
definitely not what I'm saying.
I know, but I don't want you to, because there'll be an appetite to do that, because you'll be like, okay, cool. I've hired Jeff. He's doing it. Oh wow, I like this. I like just telling Jeff what to do, and he comes back to me. And then I may not even reach out to him, or I might touch him once every week, kind of thing. And that's where, unfortunately, the cracks, they creep in, and you need to, even though you see Jeff. this is why it's this is why it's really, really key that whoever you employ or to take over a role, they really shadow you and you're shadowing them and you're modeling your expectations. And therefore you see what they can and can't do. For you then feel confident enough to say, okay, I'm going to now allow you to do it and have the best interest for your business. Because that's the second thing. They need to have the best interest for your business to achieve the goals that you would want to achieve. But then also you will need to, like, I'm going to meet with you for about a day and we're going to go around and do it, you know?
Yeah. I hear you.
So, and I just feel that where at some point you, as a, let's say the place you would want to be at is, I would say, you have a CEO and you're above a CEO. So that CEO is you. Yeah. That CEO is you. So that's where I think you would want to be at. But at this
Interesting.
stage of your journey, managing director, operations, whatever you want to call it, you will be very much involved with
Correct.
the
You're right.
day-to-day runners of it.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
So I just want your mindset to be, yes, okay, cool. So my team is, I'm dealing with operational aspects of the business. I'm still doing day-to-day things anyway, which I now can let go because the business and the people are strong enough to
Yes,
continue the
well
day-to-day
said, Joe. I'm
aspect of it.
with you, man.
Yeah,
So what I'm hearing from you, and what I think is right, is that I think we're saying the same thing. I think we're saying
yeah,
the same thing.
yeah,
And in fact, we are saying the same. I've clocked it. All right, we're actually saying the same thing. However, this is so cool for our conversations because I've just understood how we're speaking. This is cool. I'm speaking from the future. You're speaking from the present.
yeah.
Yeah. Do you understand
But
what I just
but
said there? Yeah.
yeah, but you're speaking from, if I'll be blunt, like 5 years, and I
Okay.
want you to be
Okay.
thinking. I want you to be thinking 6 months to a year,
Yeah.
and
That's
that
that's
and that at every stage of someone's business when they start from naught to 100,000. Okay, when you start, you're starting in 3 months. So you're looking ahead at
proper.
three
Okay.
months,
Good. Good.
six
I got
months
you.
to a
I got
year.
you. I got you. Yeah. Yeah.
So you need to get used to that mindset. I'm not necessarily saying not
You
having an
got
aspiration to try to,
clocked it in
yeah,
one go, Joel. I get it.
100. Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It makes perfect sense to me, and I think you're absolutely right. I think you're absolutely right in what you're saying, and yeah, we are saying the same things, and I take
We're
on
saying the
board.
same thing. And
Yeah.
this is what I wanted to say to you, because when you said that as a journey, when you said, if you start again, this is how you're going to be, like, just scaling up. I'm like, make it small. I'm not discouraging the fact that you're going to have aspirations of where you want to be. I mean, I've got all these aspirations, but make your make the reality of it small. Make the achievements
Okay,
smaller.
good. Okay, good. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. I understand you because you're not making it small. You're just making the achievements bite size. You're just saying, well, I need to do this first, then this next,
Yeah.
then this next,
Yes.
and
Yes.
together
You
the
need to.
cumulative effect of those bite size accomplishments is going to lead into something that's much
Yeah.
much larger.
So remember, it's a journey from naught to 100,000, and we're starting off.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so we just mentioned that first customer. Get your first customer, get your second customer, see if you could double it, see if you could retain the customers. And because can you get more from that one customer, with different other services? But yeah, so that for me, that's the only kind of pushback I have, is that I get the aspirations and the dreams and the reality, blah blah. But what I wanted to kind of make sure people are fully aware of, um,
This is
it's
making
a
me smile,
journey,
man.
and yeah, it's a journey, and it's a hard journey. Yeah,
This is
and
making me smile
and
because
it
we're dealing with
go
two
go.
we're dealing with two different types of entrepreneurs. It's brilliant, Joel. We're dealing with what I would class you as, which is a realist, right here, right now,
Yeah,
realist, right? And then you're dealing with me, which is a dreamer, which is okay. There's the big vision,
yeah, yeah, yeah. A
right?
dream is good. A dream is good, but I'm so
Yeah,
drilled
yeah,
with
yeah,
my mindset,
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah. Yes, I hear
because
you.
I know the possibility for any services or product that you guys are offering, or just like anything else, you start off with a dream, and I say to my children, keep dreaming, because that's how things happen.
Imagination, the ability to imagine, the ability to close your eyes and see something different to the reality that you're in right now. I think it's one of our biggest powers. I think as humans, I think it's huge, bro. I think it's
And
absolutely huge.
that's it. So it's that visualization. So I don't visualize my business generating 10 million a year. I don't visualize me having multiple staff, like 50, 150 staff. I don't visualize that. What I do visualize is next year. Yeah. I visualize the year after. Yeah.
Good,
That's
good,
what I
good,
visualize,
good, good.
because I could reach that. I know I could reach that, and that's where the growth happens. So my touchwood, every year I've been growing when it comes to revenue and expansion of the business, but I could see that growth, and I could anticipate it and plan for that growth,
Really good.
because when the growth happens, you have to be able to execute it to retain your customers.
Well said, Joel. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
really,
So
really, really.
it's just, and I just want to focus. I just want the audience and the viewers to kind of really kind of get a grasp on just fine little details and focus. And you're not thinking small. You're just going on the path of journeys, and you're going in steps, and the
I,
steps will get bigger.
it's salmon bites rather than the whole chunk of salmon.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's nuggets. It's nuggets rather than
Nugget,
the
yeah,
chicken. Yeah,
yeah,
rather than the chicken thigh.
100%.
Let's do. Listen, we're wrapping up. We're
Yeah,
wrapping up.
that's
We're wrapping.
right.
Should we quickly do the thing that we promised them at the end, at the
Yeah,
beginning,
yeah,
which
yeah.
was
So this is exciting stuff now, and I want to know some of the tips, because I'm trying to put some trades in it myself. So
all
yeah,
right. Let me really cool. And this is a 2-minute analysis for people who've got some idea about trading and for people who have no idea about trading. We are sitting at a very, very, very interesting point in the gold market right now. Without going into a big long lesson, Joel, you understand what this is right here. You
yeah,
understand exactly what this is. And we are
yeah.
sitting at a very, very interesting point, which is halfway between the bottom of this point here and the top of this point here. We're sitting literally, the price here is sitting halfway between this area, which we call in trading space an area of interest. So for those who are looking at gold, there's two things that can potentially happen from here. Option number one is that we just literally run through, come back, test this area, and keep flying higher. That is option number one. The option that I prefer is for the price to actually start making its way lower and go lower than this area here, creating what we call in the industry a lower high. So I'm expecting and hoping to see gold turn around. Now, there are things I need to see before I will act on that, but I'm watching this area, and for anybody who's interested in the price range that we're looking at right now is 4,593 to 4,652. I want to see what happens in this area, and who knows, we might be seeing gold drop to low levels. Let's leave it at that. No firm predictions. And that's it for me, Joel. That is a top tip for the week. We're looking to see the possibility for gold moving lower as we move through September. That's my tip. Let's see. Fingers crossed.
That's it. Fingers crossed. And those, yeah. So Leon will be doing a top tip every single session, which is exciting stuff for me, because I can now use that tip and put my trades in. Yeah, he didn't tell me that, so yeah. He didn't tell me that.
You know the confirmations to look out for before you make that trade. You know what to look out for. But yeah, that's the idea that I'm working with over the next couple of weeks.
Cool. All right, so guys, we'll put some details below on the description if you want to hit up Leon with some advice or any further information about his courses and his training. It'll be below on our YouTube channel and Spotify as well. So, but yeah, we should be cool for the next one. Yeah, when's the next one? You know what? I'm going to try and keep it on the weekend, and I'm going to pick a date, guys, on when it comes out, because I've been a bit random. So we've been a bit random in the sense of when we're posting these videos. So I'm going to have a structure of Sunday morning, 9 o'clock.
Done. Love it.
Sunday morning, 9 o'clock, and we'll be doing it every week. So yeah.
So, but don't watch the podcast instead of going to church. Go church and then come back.
Yeah. 100%. Or if you got football or rugby, which I do as well. So yeah.
Yeah.
Get into the car. But yeah. All right, guys. Well, from me, stay blessed, and we'll see you on the next one.
just one more thing before we go, Joe.
Okay,
Joel,
cool. Sorry.
please, brother, please. Next time we come on this podcast, please don't wear that shirt, bro. That one there. You what? I'm coming with my shirt next time. Don't worry. I'll come with my shirt.
Come on.
Season
North
starts.
London forever. North London forever.
Get
Come
out of
on,
here.
you Arsenal.
Get out of
Come
here.
on.
See you next week.
All right. See you around. Take care.
We'll see you. Bye. Bye.